Nais mo'y madagdagan, limot mo na ang iyong pinagmulan. Bakit nga ba ganito? Ang tao'y walang kasiyahan.
This is the town of Dolores Mabalacat. It's just a few minutes ride by tricycle to here, and I guess this is what's happened. They've abandoned part of Dolores. This is a sandbag that they have erected to prevent the lahars from entering the house, or water, during the flood. This is the street. And this is the Datu residence over here, Rose's house.
So, makikita mo rin kung anong nangyari dito sa Dolores ng napakaganda noon. Talagang maganda ang...
Ngayon,
wala na, Rose. Parang ano ba yan? Desert?
Desert.
Desert.
Yung mga neighbors niya, wala na.
Oh. Dito sa atin, dito banda rito, marami pang natirang bahay. Kaya marami pa ako ng neighbors dito. Yung dyan sa si John Sikat, alam mo no, giniba ang bahay. Itong nakapagi na ako sa gibang bahay, yung bahay nga nyo. Si John, giba rin. Pero dito sa harapan, wala, buo. Yung mga sabangan, hindi nila sinira ang bahay nila.
The school building.
Yeah. And they've taken the roof away. They've salvaged the roof. But this is actually, I'm just sitting on top of this house. There's the window over there. All filled with lahar, or the ash. It just literally came into the windows and just pour right in. These are all some of the materials that sort of floated up from the inside of the house. Beds just floated right up. I'm literally on top of this house. This is not the foundation, but this is the actual roof of the house. They've of course taken down the roof to salvage the corrugated iron roofing. But you can see in the background over there, apparently the lahars came from that direction over there. It literally came right down from those mountains over there and washed into all these buildings right here, right, just totally obliterating them all the way down here. You can see how much the lahars have done. The force of Mount Pinatubo was I didn't really realize it until we drove through that town. It was rather late. It was right about 4:30. It was getting dusk. It was getting darker. And so what I saw literally was not a lot, but it touched me so much that I told the jeepney driver to pull over, and we pulled over and stretched, and I actually literally was walking on top of the town. The tallest building actually was showing, and most of the tall buildings were sort of leveled because the force of the lahars when it came down was literally like molten, not molten, it wasn't hot, but it was just water combined with ash, and it gave a consistency of cement. And when you have cement coming down at about 100 miles an hour, it just totally levels everything in its path. It does not really cover it. It just tears it up and then puts a layer of ash over it, or a layer of wet ash over it. Well, actually now it's hardened, and we were actually literally on top of this town. And what didn't get leveled, that still stood like trees, we can still see the branches still reaching up towards the sky. Basically, all the trunks were actually buried underneath. The tops of the houses, like the sills, the window beams, and not the window, the roofs were there, was still like popping up above the ash. And literally, if I can describe it, there was no color. It was all gray. It was sort of a disoriented town. It was sort of desolate, and the people have left. Maybe they've gone to all their relatives around town, around this the community. But still, the people that are still hanging around are some of the more displaced people. There's sort of a makeshift road that went through the town, and it was all just like hill. It dipped, and it was like a roller coaster of ash, and it sort of raised and lowered, and so we sort of drove through that. I can't really describe it, but it's something to see. I am going back to take pictures of it, and I don't think the American people have actually comprehended, or at least know of how destructive this mountain was, combined with torrential rains, and the ash literally destroyed this town. I don't know how much the casualties were, but looking around as we drove through, there was some makeshift crosses that was put in front of the house, sort of painted on what was left, saying the name of the people that lived in it, so that it will be identified. It's sort of like identifying your house. Instead of putting the addresses, they write the number of the house on top, or the family name on top. And also, sometimes they would stick something in the ground with a stick that comes up, and of course would tag that name of that family. At other places, they would have a cross signifying that there was maybe a family that didn't make it, died probably in that lahar inside a house, and so there was a makeshift cross sticking out, and also maybe some flowers.
mayayakap lamang kita. Lamig ay di madadama. Panaginip ko'y laging kita sila. Kahit na dilat yaning mata, kahit na malayo kang panaginip ka, mahal. Kumusta ka? Kumusta ka, aking mahal? Sana ay nasa mabuti ka. Ako'y huwag mong intindihin. Nakakagusti. Kumusta ka, aking mahal?
Ibon man may layang lumipad, kulungin mo at umiiyak. Bayan pa kayang sakdal dilag, ang di magnasang makaalpas. Pilipinas kung minumutya, pugad ng luha ko't dalita. Ating adhika, nakita kang sagdalaya.